Wow, that's unhealthy. Oh, wow. All right. So we're see, this is where Dina would come into play here because now the fuck get it. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I died and came back, by the way. I felt my soul leave my body. Pit stains, look at that. That is impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to round two. As I wipe the sweat off my brow here. Everybody can hear it. Tommy D can hear it. So welcome back to the show. Coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio right here in Mattawa, New Jersey. And, of course, broadcasting to you, breaking all the news, chopping it up from the Cabinet Creations Sports Desk. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is Wrestling Rob coming down from when I tell you we should have had behind-the-scenes stuff here, that would have been Emmy Award-winning shit. When I tell you, and look, Rob, truth be told, Rob had it right. He's like, you guys look dumb. And I'm just like, what? This is going to be fixed. I promise it's going to be fixed. I didn't look as dumb as I felt. Oh, no, I felt real dumb. And, yeah, that was, I never actually felt that way in a long time. So we're good. Anyways. All the technical difficulties sorted. We have Rob now sitting in behind the glass chair because Dina has to go to work. So the late start changes. Oh my God! It's Kyle's saying he still doesn't hear your mic. This is insane. I can't get over it.
Can you hear me?
Mic is off. How is this a thing? I don't understand. What are you, 3? This is insanity. I can't believe this has been like you can hear it. We might just I don't even know. Like this is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Everything was working. I don't. Let me just go to settings over here. He says my mic sounds good, which leads me to believe that it's also a it says Roadcaster, bro. Everything's working over here. That's such a weird thing, bro. I don't know. I might. Do you want me to go solo? I don't know. Can you hear Rob? Can
you hear me?
I don't know if anybody can hear Rob here. Rob is good according to Chris Payne coming in the chat there as I'm squinting away. So it's got to be a 3, a channel thing, maybe. You want to put yourself on 1? Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But anyway, wow. So today has been the day from hell, obviously. And I blame this all on Scoop, actually. And it's an easy blame. It's an easy segue to blame Scoop because he's just at fault for everything. What's that now? Hey, 1. You weren't pulled up. I don't know. Maybe let's see if that's a thing. Can everybody hear Chris now? You're in 1, so you're good. Leave it in 1. How about now? Well, now you eliminated Rob. You realize that, right? Okay, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's good. I heard the mic. So you're tapping now. Do you know what the problem was?
We're good.
What was it? I need to know.
It was just like the mic was switched onto 4. Onto 1. Because I switched those mics before on the audio switch.
So I don't know.
We're good.
All right, Chris is good.
We are still embarrassed.
How about round 3? In a complete shit show of a show. It's actually a really good show because there's a lot of stuff to go over. And I just actually confirmed with the Savannah Bananas pitcher that he will be joining us later on this week.
Nice.
When things are good, things are great. And I blame Scoop for all this. That's where I'm going with it. So anyway, patreon.com/Chop Sports to support the show. If you really want to support this show. No kidding. We're a profitable group over here. So be sure to check that out. Me and Chris checked it out yesterday. We're forever grateful for everybody who's come on as a Patreon member. So happy about that. And of course, YouTube, we're just over 1,000. Are you still feeling it?
I'm fucking struggling.
I am. I feel it too. But you know what? It's live television, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we roll. The YouTube is over 1,000. We got the email yesterday. Very pumped about that, about being able to monetize. So people that are watching us on YouTube right now, you're actually helping us right now. Each and every one of you who are watching this at a certain length, it helps us tremendously. So thank you for that. Later on today in the on this YouTube channel, you get the second installment of the Wrestle Pro Chop Sports Fight Factory, including myself, Gooch, of course, Wrestling Rob, and Tommy D. That'll drop later on. The podcast is actually available already. So if you're just a podcast person, go check that out. And Jimmy Palumbo show will be canceled until further notice. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's going up today.
That'll go up later on, and sooner than later. So let's start talking sports because that's what we do after all. Last night, there just so happened to be an NCAA championship game in which the Kansas Jayhawks decided to rum up and ram out the I don't know where those words. I made up those words. No, I'm not good. Obviously, I'm not good.
I'm struggling right now. I did hit some money last night on the first half of the box pool. So
we're not talking about the box pool.
No, we are.
No, because there was 50 people, 50 in this box pool. Each person had 2 boxes. Each person had 2 chances to win every single game for the entire tournament. You're never going to believe. You're never going to believe who didn't win a goddamn dollar, and that's yours truly. I didn't win anything. I got to get money from my brother and my dad and just like, hey, guys, I'm sorry that I convinced you to do this because you just lost money.
Well, that's the nature of a pool.
No. Because when you go into a Super Bowl pool, fine. It's 4 quarters. You don't hit a quarter, it sucks. You're out. All right, next year. Better luck next year. This time, there was 2 halves to every game. There was like 87
two
games.
Halves from the Sweet 16 on.
Fine. But then even that, the first 2 rounds, I could have finals. I didn't even have any bet. Like
Scoop, I'll take 2 boxes next year as well.
Scoop, I will not. I will light your house on fire before I go and do another.
I'll
unbelievable.
I
can't believe it. But
Love
anyway,
that pool. Love that pool.
yeah. As he has $1,000 more dollars in your pocket.
It did lighten the load or
500. You and Rob
the sting
won
over my Tarheels getting beat last night in the worst fashion possible.
They played
the worst comeback or the biggest comeback in NCAA
history.
Finals history. So tip your hat to Kansas. They played their ass off in the second half. But
you know what the money line was?
You
know what the money line was at halftime?
Oh no, I don't.
Plus 1,200 Kansas.
Oof. Wow.
To come back and win. They're like, nah, there's no shot. You know what I mean? They came all the way back.
That to me is like you're guaranteed. If I would have saw that in real time, I'm a UNC fan, but I don't have the allegiance the way I do in pro sports. I would have definitely jumped on that a little bit just because of the odds.
Toast and Scoop jumped right on it. I didn't do it. I was just too bitter and pissed off that I was that I bet Carolina I bet Kansas -4, and obviously you're looking at the scoreboard right here, 72-69. Clearly lost. Also bet the first half. Clearly that that was not even close. So that one sucked. So I lost all my money yesterday, and I watched my partner in crime over here win 1,000 or again 500 because Rob was involved as well.
Me and Rob split the
but again,
pot.
Great game. Ending sequence, a very weird step out of bounds ordeal where that was just like, are you kidding, kid? Like you had one job, stay in bounds, get fouled, go to the line, seal it. Yes, they ultimately won the game anyway, but Jesus Christ. That was close.
Look, the end of that game was great. The backup guard, I don't know what his name is. It escapes me right now for Kansas, but he had some big shots down the stretch. And then once the UNC big man went down, they did what every coach should do, and that's feed the big man that you got. And the two shots he hit, the offensive board that stole everything. Caleb Love down the stretch. Now I understand anybody that listened to me yesterday was talking like, bro, they wouldn't even been there if it wasn't for Caleb Love, and I understand that, but. You're 4 for 16. There's 4 minutes to go. It's crunch time. You haven't been hitting your shots. He penetrated to the dish and threw up like 7 just challenged, very contested shots with guys wide open on the perimeter. I'm not trying to blame the kid, but at the end of the day, when you're shooting that poorly down the stretch,
you got to choose another.
You got to hit some guys on the perimeter, man, because Manic was wide open on the one. And look, just the way it played out, they got a good look at the end. You knew it was either going to be Manic or Love to get the last shot. Shout out to Kansas, though. They did what they had to do. They defended.
Where is Remy Martin play? Kansas?
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't wait till he's a Nick. That's going to be great.
That's just what
a lot of selling points for him. Tim's, fitted hat.
I mean, dude, are you kidding? He's a marketing genius. I mean, whoever's mom is, as if like I have a clue. But like, those parents, like very, very well played. Like Remy Martin, perfect. Like you're going to make some serious cash and some serious do-re-mi.
As long as you're really good at basketball.
And as long as you're good at basketball and or sports. I mean, it could have been any sport. It could have been a good golfer. It doesn't matter. Also, in the college world, I heard right before we went on the first time, first 3 times we tried to get on today, Dougie Fresh entering the transfer portal. Rob brought up a really good point. What if he goes to Seton Hall? Like, that's a perfect landing spot.
I wouldn't
for
say
him.
it's what if at this point. I feel like
you think that's where he's going?
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He's got the coach that just went there. It's kind of fucked up for the coach. But really, at the end of the day, the kid's got to go further his basketball career.
Wait, which coach?
Holloway.
The coach of Seton Hall?
He was just the coach at St. Peter's.
And why is it effed up for him?
Because he's taking the best player with him.
I mean, it's business, baby. You got to win some games.
I understand. That's why I said it's kind of fucked up. It's not like,
it's cutthroat.
At the end of the day, you do what you got to do. But shout out to what's his name again?
Dougie Fresh.
Doug,
I sent him a DM. He didn't listen. He didn't get back to me yet.
He's like, bro, I'm busy.
He just got
he responded?
No.
So he left
me on red.
Oof. Didn't he just sign someone like Buffalo Wild Wings or something?
He did.
I was like, bro, you want a t-shirt? No, that was you that did that. I just said I wanted to come on the podcast.
Bob Menner used to be the voice of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
I commented. By the way, I commented on one of Bob Memory's lives last night.
Now he's a snitch.
He went live, and I was like, he goes, "Yo, man, we cashed on that bet." I was like, "You should probably use that money to go bail out your boy Jorge." So I don't know. Look, I don't know how true it is. We talk about it on the Fight Factory. Go check that out later on today. But yeah, college basketball comes and goes, man. It's over. It's all over. So I know you said you were waiting for that to be over and like done.
Not that I have anything against college basketball. No, but I was just talking about.
But it's also the international sign for the start of baseball.
It's time.
It is, and I think it is. Gentlemen. But before we do all of that, I want to talk about something that went down yesterday in the NFL. Just a weird turn of events as far as the trade is concerned. There's a lot of swapping of draft picks, and there's a couple theories going around as to why this happened or whatever. So in context, I guess you could say overall, like there was multiple picks swapped, but the Saints are going to get an extra first round this year. So they got 16, 19, and like a 6th round pick or something like that. So they added a first round. The Philadelphia Eagles were coming into the 2022 draft with 3 first round picks. They now only have 2. And that is the 18 or one of the I forget.
Yeah, they get
18 and 20
they get
or
the
no,
Saints
I don't know,
pick.
whatever.
They get the Saints pick in this year. So they trade 2 this year, 16 and 19. They received the 18. They receive next year's first round pick. They receive next year's 2nd round pick.
There's a lot to digest with this, and I'm not sure.
A 2024 2nd round pick and a 2022 3rd. So they got a lot of draft.
It was a haul. There was a little bit of a haul.
I feel like this is a good trade for both teams. I'm curious to know why the Saints want to trade back into the first round.
Call on me.
Well, financial reasons why I'm curious to know why the Saints want to do that, because I'm hearing that they're in on the Tyrann Mathieu sweepstakes now.
He's visiting today.
So having the Saints in on Tyrann Mathieu and now adding 2 first round picks to their possible payroll, I'm not sure how they're going to finesse all that.
Don't worry. The salary cap's a myth and nobody cares.
It's just not really a myth when it comes to signing rookies because there's really not much.
Well, in the salary cap, you actually have it. If you go on any of these over the cap or any of these websites, you actually have, it says like there's money allocated because everybody knows what those picks make now. Yeah. Because it's like allocated, like that's already accounted for.
So I guess with the Saints things, their GM has been playing salary cap gymnastics for the last 4 seasons. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that what he's doing is right and he knows what he's doing here when it comes to all the financials and things like that. If they're able to land Tyrann Mathieu and get 2 first round picks going into next season, I think that'll put them in a nice position. They got Jameis back. So the Saints, I think they're a fringe playoff team as it stands right now. We need to see who the new coach is going or how the new coach is going to play out. But as of right now, I feel like the Saints are avoiding a rebuild, a total rebuild.
This is my crazy, put a tinfoil hat on theory. Okay. They just traded away a couple of their picks, right? And you're like, oh, well, that's going to screw them for next year, right? I think the Saints are well aware that Sean Payton is going to be available next year and won't be doing any Fox or any pregame shows or anything like that. So I'm going to assume that the Saints know they're going to get a 1 and or a 2 or equip a couple picks in next year's draft by trading Sean Payton's rights, and that's how they recoup what they just traded away.
That's definitely a nice prediction right there. I think that's a lot of speculation. There needs to be a team involved. They need to have Sean Payton wanting to come back to coaching. So I'm not sure that the Saints know that for sure, but there is definitely smoke there, and usually when there's smoke, there's fire. So that's a good point. Now, looking at the flip side of it for the Eagles, there's a ton of reasons why I think this makes sense for the Eagles, because I do think that it's a bad thing, and Rob pointed this out to me this morning, to have all 3 of your first-round draft picks in one season because they're all going to be due for an extension
at the same time,
or like the team option at the same time. So
they're going to give away 3 fifth-year options.
Exactly. So financial reasons down the line, if all three of these picks pan out and they want to retain all their players, it makes it a lot harder to do so because they're 3 first-round talents, and then that second contract becomes a lot. They spread that out. They move the pick back a second year, and then they get valuable picks in the second and third round. I think anything after the fourth round, you lose a tremendous amount of value. But anything prior to the fourth round, I think that's a potential Pro Bowl player, depending on what position you're picking at. Now, it also allows them to have some more flexibility with the Jalen Hurts situation, because Jalen Hurts, now they don't, essentially having 2 draft picks and 2 draft picks, it gives them a buffer to be able to go after a quarterback.
Which apparently the class is better next year and the year after that.
It gives them this season to kind of assess Jalen Hurts before they have to worry about picking up the option. If they decide to not, now they have that draft pick to use on a quarterback.
I mean, obviously I don't care for Jalen Hurts because he's an Eagle, but like this kid's psyche has been through the ringer. Every time there was a trade rumor with it, whether it be Watson or Russ or anybody, they were all linked to the Eagles. And like, you're sitting here like, oh, but Hurts is our guy. He's our start. Like, but every single time a quarterback became available, even Matt Ryan. Like,
what I'm going to say, right? Like, I understand your point, but when it's a psyche thing and you're a guy that's middling in the around 20th, 15th, 20th best quarterback, you have to understand that this is a business and they have to get that. Right now, Jalen Hurts hasn't proven anything in the league. If you have a chance to improve your team, he can look at it like, oh, maybe they don't want me anymore. But if you're a competitor, you might be like, you know what? I'm going to show them why they should want me. And they go out there and prove your worth. I think that's more where, if my quarterback can't take the potential chance of him being replaced because he's not playing well, and the first thought he has is, oh man, this isn't fair, then that's Baker. To me, that's the guy that I don't want as my starting quarterback, and I think that'll be a telling sign. If Jalen Hurts just, and does what Tua did what pretty much Jalen Hurts did all last year, and just say, you know what, I don't care what everybody says. I'm going to go out there and prove it. Right now, I'm the quarterback. So it's not like they're
look at me. I am the quarterback.
It's not like they're not giving him this season.
Yeah,
he's getting this season. But their GM did say at the end of the statement where he's like, we're committed to Jalen Hurts. He did say, but you just don't know what the future holds. Yeah. So obviously as a GM, you leave the door open.
But my thing is, like, after a while, and you could say as a competitor, you're going to go out there and there's no way they're going to take my job. I'm going out there doing this every day. But your teammates, you get people that are like, well, maybe we could do some with Sean Watson. Maybe we could do that for him.
That's a big thing, bro. I agree.
Here's the thing. And I think that also, the point you're making is a good one, but I think that lends to the fact that if you talk to his teammates are on board. Like, his teammates know that he's going out there and competing. I don't think it's a teammate thing. I think eventually with poor play, it can become one for sure. But as of right now, you listen to the Eagles players talk last year, like they're all in on Jalen Hurts. There was nobody that was like, oh, Jalen's not the guy.
Right.
Now, they have other issues with their roster. Give Jalen Hurts a little bit of time. I think that he's going to be middle of the road.
I don't.
At best.
No time.
Starting quarterback
Zero.
in the league.
Is there anybody in this draft right now that you could see maybe the Saints taking the 16th and the 19th pick and going up, and maybe the Jets or the Giants who have 2 early picks were like, hey, look, we'll trade you like for the 16th and the 19th for the 4th.
So you're saying that
maybe
they're not in on Jameis Winston anymore?
There's no quarterbacks in the draft this year.
There's like 3
so
apparently.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Saints are going to trade up for a QB right now. I think Jameis is their guy.
Want to talk about salary cap? Like, shit, they can't afford another quarterback.
Well, they can't afford it if they.
The higher you go in the draft,
the
more money you got to spend.
They could afford a quarterback if they take 2 of the draft picks that they have and turn it into 1, because then they're only paying.
It helps. Guy. I don't know if they can afford it, but it helps.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we're going to have to wait and see on how each team is going to approach things with this trade going forward. It sets them both up fairly well. I think the Saints still feel like they could compete in the league, and they're trying to win now. And it's evident with this trade to move up, trade some of your draft capital at a later date, and gets Jameis some weapons maybe. But the Eagles, I think they're firmly understanding that they're not quite there yet. They could go out there and see what they got out of their quarterback and reassess things after this offseason, but not completely handcuff themselves with a potential salary pitfall that they'll fall into down the line with all these rookies in 4 years.
Now, do you think that this is just, I'm asking you because you have no dog in this race, are the Philadelphia Eagles a threat to the Dallas Cowboys this year in this division this year? Because you're looking at the Giants, and there's like a little bit of a rebuild there, you would assume. And then you look at the Washington Commanders, who, by the way, another allegation came popping up while they're pocketing money. And I said that years ago. But you know what I mean? Like,
I think if I'm being completely unbiased in a vacuum, if I had to pick the team that has the chance to threaten, it would be Philly. because you just don't know. There's a lot of things, like they do certain things well. There may be a couple pieces away. It all hinges on the quarterback play. If Jalen Hurts can make that leap forward this year, then yeah, I would say that there's a threat there. I wouldn't say that there's really much of one as of now. You need some things to happen in Dallas, some injuries, but it's a long season.
Yeah. So we'll see. As far as the comments are coming in, I do apologize for not bringing most of those up, but we're just a little bit of disarray today, and I really can't see too far with the comments that are up in front of my face. But I thank you guys for joining us today.
They're talking about the Masters anyway.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, Tiger's back, I think.
Well, actually, Tiger, breaking news is what they're talking about.
Oh.
It's so Tiger said,
damn, I had him plus 5,000 and cashed out.
He'll make final decision after playing 9 holes tomorrow. Right now, I feel like I'm gonna play, is what he said.
All right, I'm gonna put that bet back in. Just because, like, it just seems like it's poetic for him to come back and win the Masters.
Not even gonna make
gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit?
I'm gonna bet him to not make the cut.
That's a good bet too. I'm sure that's a high whatchamacall? A high payout.
It's probably like even money. He hasn't played golf in a while, and he's going to a very difficult course.
I mean, even money sounds like a good deal to me.
It is Tiger. I'm sure he will win.
Tiger. Okay. Anyway, so before we get on to the meat and potatoes and all of the stuff that we want to get into, I do want to say once again that this show is being brought to you in part by Fusco Insurance Agency. Michael Fusco of the Fusco Insurance Agency has partnered up. That's Steve Esparra. No big deal. It covers the whole thing.
It's gone.
Oh, all right. It's gone. So that's fine. Anyway, so Michael Fusco, his agency offers personal and commercial lines, life insurance, health insurance. They even help with retirement, employee benefit administration. And of course, if you need a benefits guy, if you're a small business like us and we want to start giving us benefits, like, personal injury or anything like that, which could have happened right before the show. Could have been some personal injury going on around here. Probably me being stretched out of here. But anyway, so go check out Fusco Insurance Agency. It is also tax season. I know the deadline is not too long from here. We paid our tax guy yesterday. We might have gotten a better rate if we went to Fusco Insurance Agency. We'll probably go with him next year. And of course, if you have bad credit, he can also fix that with his fiscally fit credit repair. They offer plans, and Fusco's promise to you is that he will not lose you a dime, and you can actually make some money with him. If you're looking for the blend of personal service and expertise, you've come to the right place. I know he was joining us earlier today on the show, saw us probably go awry, and then had to get back to grinding away at the agency. But if you want to check out everything that he has to offer, be sure to do that. FuscoInsuranceAgency.com, or send him a message because, he's right there on YouTube.
Me and Gooch were talking the other day about we got to talk to him about some patent stuff, right?
Yeah, the patent lawyer.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
I have $31 million ideas.
That's right. This is right. This is what's going to really set us up. Like, here we are doing a show every day. That's what's going to get us rich. But then you're just going to come up with like baseball bingo and then just through the roof, and it's going to be it. Anyway, Gooch got something from Manscaped, guys.
Yes. Spring has sprung, boys. So we all know what that means. It is officially swamp ass season, and the carpets need some cleaning, the drapes need some dusting, and your lawn needs some mowing. And when I say lawn, I mean your disgusting back hair, ladies and gentlemen. Spring has sprung. The global leaders in below the waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your ass crack. Actually, aisle 5 is your ass crack. So time to clear out your winter bush and join 4 million other men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off, free shipping with the code CHOPSPORTS. All right, so Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you'll need to keep your boys looking and smelling like fresh tulips. Dave, we got to change that. Nobody wants their asshole smelling like tulips.
I'm just going by what they
It includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer with the LED light we all know and love. It's got the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. It includes the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, and now introducing the Plow 2.0 razor for your face. Sounds very, very sexual. Because if you're using the Lawnmower 4.0 on your balls and your face, well, that's obviously not a good thing. Now, boys, we obviously have all woken up on the wrong side of a rough night, right?
Seems like it happened today.
You wake up on the wrong side of a rough night and you have a disgusting, hairy taint jungle. The best way to approach this situation is the Lawnmower 4.0 400K LED light. You could even ask your girlfriend to give you a hand. It helps. It helps.
Oh,
all right, so check out manscaped.com. promo code Chop Sports, free shipping, 20% off. Do the goddamn thing.
There you go. So that's, of course, Manscaped. And also, we do want to tell you about Steve Esparra, who is our web developer. He's the one who came up with chopsportsmedia.com, or didn't come up with it. He actually designed it. It's now a fully functional website. He does great work. He's working on ashmerefit.com. He's working with a bunch of locals. So go check out steveesparra.com for your web services. So if you're trying to make, pissedoffpain.com or something like that, go check out Steve Esparra, and he'll hook it up. So definitely go to him. So before we get into our baseball, we get to bring back the resident Chop Cop. So ladies and gentlemen, our second installment of Pissed Off Pain. So bring on that up.
Bring on that
up. Or somebody, what? It's right there. Oh, make them full. To the right. All the way to the right. The layout of the show. No, you're good. You're good.
Welcome back to another edition of Pissed Off Pain. I am your host, Chris Payne, and welcome to the Fake as Shit Studios. But let's jump right into it, shall we? The New York Mets. I mean, what the Has anybody given it any real thought that maybe Jacob deGrom is just a head case? You have got to be kidding me. So here we are, thinking we're going to have a great season. Very promising. We had the big sign with Max Scherzer. We went out and got some other guys that I'm so pissed off right now. I can't even name. Starling Marte. There we go. Kahan. How do you say his name? Kahan? Whatever. But we got some nice pieces. What? Oh, right. Oh, I look broken, right? Yeah, right. Because we are again, and I just don't understand it. How is it that we can have the two best pitchers in baseball on the same team, and we can't even get them to the fucking opening day healthy? How smart was it to have both of them throw 11 innings in spring training? Like, what are we doing? We went out and hired Buck Showalter, and everyone was like, this is it. We got the guy. This is the one that's going to get us to the promised land. But instead, DeGrom's out for it's going to be 2 months now? Scherzer with his fucking eye? Oh, wait, no, that's not his injury. No one knows where he's looking, though, with those things. But now he's got a hamstring tweak with his in between pitches. Something's got to give. Someone's got to go. Somebody on that staff's got to go. It cannot happen every year. And everyone's going to make the statement, oh, DeGrom's older. He didn't start pitching until after college. He played shortstop in high school. Like, what are we doing here? Are we not a professional organization? We don't have people to fucking take care of this shit? We got to right the ship somehow. I don't think the season's lost, but it's very, very, very demoralizing going into opening day down your number one and possibly your opening with number two. It. Check in, like, subscribe. Chop Studios, Chop Cop,
is actually
Chop Sports Pain. This has been Pissed Off Pain, and I'll catch you next time.
Holy shit,
Who's
man.
in the sling on the wall?
Bro, first of all, the Henry Rowan-Gardner? Anybody else get that reference? The fucking...
Also, does he not look exactly like Jacob deGrom?
He does.
And that, like, what the fuck? I was like, why is deGrom doing a video for it?
Pain, way better than your first one.
That was hilarious.
Holy shit, that was great.
No, I'm gonna trash the entire thing.
Of course, go ahead.
Now I'm not a Mets fan, obviously. I'm enjoying this to some degree just because I see people like Payne reeling. Now, Mets fans have every reason to be upset, but I don't think you could really be upset with the organization at this point because the Mets went out and did everything that they were supposed to do. I think what they did with the Scherzer thing was get out in front of what they knew was a probable thing to take place, and that was what I said when they signed him, that Jacob deGrom just ain't right, and they knew it. So going into the season with the two-headed monster is what all Mets fans expected, but me being the guy that I am, the skeptic, I was thinking like, well, they're just covering their tracks here because deGrom is about to be out for a while. And now, obviously, it's a different injury than it was last year, and I'm not sitting here and acting like I knew anything, but, here we are a couple months later, and here we go. deGrom's on the DL for at least 1 month.
He makes one point saying, like, they were overpitched in the spring. Do you agree with that?
No.
You're crazy.
They didn't even pitch. They didn't even pitch in the spring. Like, they didn't even have spring. So, like, they've been there for 2 weeks. this is what happens when you don't have spring training the right way. You could say that it wasn't done right. It was too accelerated. But when you have a season that's starting in 2 weeks and you haven't thrown yet and you're the opening day starter, how else are you going to get to throw 70 pitches? You got to go do it.
Yeah,
you can't just go out there and be like, oh, I'm Max Scherzer. Give me 27 pitches and then take me out. Like, you got to stretch these guys along. It's just an injury. And Scherzer is his hamstring. So it's not like it's an arm. I think Scherzer is going to be fine. It might actually be a blessing in disguise, like I said yesterday with the Scherzer thing, because he suffered from dead arm last year. So if he misses a month of the season right now, it's not going to be make or break for the Mets. He's going to miss 5 starts. By the end of the season, he'll be in a good spot. The Mets will be in a good spot. If they could get DeGrom and Scherzer healthy for the stretch run, that's really what it's about. There's 31 teams in baseball, and 34 of them make the playoffs now. So I think the Mets could be all right.
We'll see. I think they were built. They're built for tough. You know what I mean? Like, I think they were built to over withstand some of this stuff. I think it's hilarious. So I think.
So there we go. Max Scherzer's pitching on Friday.
Well, yeah. Well, is that the opening day for the Mets?
No,
Friday?
I'm not sure exactly which.
I think it is.
But
actually.
Point being is, Scherzer's fine, right? So pump the brakes. The DeGrom thing, maybe he is a head case. He's your twin brother, Payne. So just call him up.
It's family, man. Come on now. Anyway, so we want to get into our 2022 baseball predictions heading into this year. Obviously, we did some talk with the Toast last week, and we got some, a little prop bets here and there, but we'll talk about those in a little bit as well. But I want to get the season-long predictions out of Gooch, and of course, I wrote mine down. Hopefully, you did the same thing.
I didn't.
Okay, well, you at least know who you're predicting to do things?
Okay,
good. So let's start off with, I believe, the Cy Young, right? So Cy Young Award for the predictions for this year, AL and NL. Gooch, what say you as far as, let's start with the NL. We were just talking about one set individual. Do you have any guesses as to who you think is going to win Cy Young in the NL?
I think Walker Buehler is the guy this year in the NL. Just the Dodgers lineup, so he's going to accumulate a ton of wins. And if you look at the trajectory that he's been on, he's been an ace now. He's officially the staff ace for the Dodgers for the first time in his career. And yeah, man, Walker Buehler is a stud. You just look at him pitch. He's got 5 out pitches. They're all plus stuff. It's hard for me to say anything bad about the guy. He pitches in the best situation possible in the NL. Right, and he's got the.
Why is it the best situation?
Because the Dodgers are going to win 110 games.
Okay, just because of the team he's on. Not
he's on a great.
I thought you meant like the designated hitter and pitchers are batting or whatever. But now it's a little different. Yeah, I'm interested to see how these guys transfer. That one extra batter means what? An extra 3 or 4 batters faced?
Well, I mean,
depending if they go a full game. I mean,
they're just not having to face the pitcher. I think that at the end of the day, things will be fine. Okay. I don't think if you're a great pitcher, it doesn't matter. You're going to put up your numbers. Now it does. There might be a little bit less of a strikeout total at the end of the season, maybe like 20 less Ks for a guy that pitches in the with the DH now, but I don't think that's going to matter. And look, that's universal across the board. All NL pitchers are going to be facing the DH now, so it has zero bearing on one guy and not the other. There is a couple other guys like Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff. There's a couple guys that, for whatever reason, like me, I've been removed a little bit from the fantasy baseball world, and then I just can't trust certain people because the last time I had a personal experience with them, they weren't good. So now 2 years later, you look in, you're like, oh, this guy's in the top 10 pitchers. Like, I don't buy it. And then you look at the stuff and it all adds up. So Corbin Burns is another one. I think Milwaukee has a chance. We'll talk about the teams in a second. But Corbin Burns.
Can I make my prediction?
Go ahead.
Ready for the National League Cy Young Award winner, ladies and gentlemen, Max Scherzer. I think he not only pitches, but he pitches his ass off and actually propels this Mets team to a successful season. What success is defined as a Mets fan? I don't know. Are you guys World Series or bust type mentality? I don't know if that's realistic expectations, but Scherzer's going to pitch his ass off. I think he's going to have a really good year, and it starts on Friday. So that's my guess.
Fair point.
AL?
AL going with Garrett Cole, baby.
Oh,
1 year removed from the spider tack. I think some of the pressure might be off of him a little bit.
He is the odds on, according to DraftKings, I was looking, he is the favorite to win the AL Cy Young right now.
And I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm not going to be biased throughout this entire show when it comes to the Yankees. But Garrett Cole, I just think he's in a good spot right now. He dealt with the spider tack stuff last year. I think a lot of it last year was more of a head thing than an actual mechanics thing. We'll see. I'm predicting this because I'm being biased. And really, if you look at the American League, I don't know. Like there's not like there's guys that are clear cut. You could look at the Toronto staff. You could look at a few other teams, but
I'm going to go away from the Yankees. I think that
this will be my only Yankee, by the way.
From what we saw in the spring, Garrett Cole it's all of a sudden it's a project, and that sucks because I thought for sure he was an ace, and it's going to turn out.
He's going to have 9 Ks.
Listen, I'm all for it.
Thursday.
I'm rooting for it. I'm excited about it, but I think he's going to lose a little something. Give me a plus 700. Give me a Shane Bieber. I'm with that. I'm with that payout too. Like that's a nice little chunk of change if you drop a C note on it. You know what I mean? Like Shane Bieber's with the Cleveland Guardians, by the way. God.
Yeah.
God.
The American League, I feel like, is a little more up in the air. I think in the NL, there's like 3 guys. I think you could flip a coin and one of those 3 guys are going to win it. The AL, I'm only saying Cole is because I'm not going to pick a Yankee or even the Yankees going forward in any of these predictions because I'm not really that high on them. But for some reason, I just think Garrett Cole, we need him so bad right now. He's
so every 5 days is going to be a goddamn gem.
AL Cy Young.
All right,
Chris Sale have a shot?
No, he's out for 60 days.
He's looking at.
Yeah, they just announced.
They just announced yesterday, just like breaking news last night.
Done forever.
And of course, guess who drafted him? But I knew he was out already.
Bro, I'll trade you Trevor Bauer for Chris Sale right now. You would do it.
I would do it.
He was thinking about. He was trying to see if you were serious.
I was going to say, is that you guys heard it here? That's official trade done.
Trevor Bauer is like physically healthy, but he's mentally way unhealthy.
Not healthy.
He's not stable.
So, let's move on to the MVP of the 2022 baseball season. Obviously, the reigning MVP, Shohei Ohtani from the AL. Who's the reigning NL MVP? Soto? No. Who won an NL MVP last year? I forget. I'm blanking on that one too. But anyway, let's get your predictions. NL MVP. Who's it going to be? Gooch.
Juan Soto.
Is it because you drafted him?
I drafted him because he's going to be the MVP. Look, the guy's 22 years old, 21 years old. He turned down that huge contract. So he's still playing for his dollar value. Mm-hmm. And he's the best player in baseball. I think he's the best hitter in baseball right now.
Okay.
Overall,
I'm going to go with a man with a new location, new start, powerhouse team.
Oh,
could be hidden.
Bryce Harper. How the fuck do we?
Oh wow, that's my boy too. What the hell's wrong, man? I'm sorry. Anyway, so new team, new environment, same amazing player. Freddie Freeman wins NL MVP this year for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that Dodgers team is just loaded. It's like looks like an all-star team at this point. Literally top to bottom, murderer's row, every single. So you can't pitch around guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the next guy's up, and the next guy. Remember, once upon a time, the Yankees were like that. You know, you couldn't pitch around them. Like there's another guy that can make you pay. I think that Freeman's going to benefit from this overstacked lineup, and he's just going to play better baseball this year than he ever did.
The Dodgers are going to be a really tough team.
Yeah,
this
man.
year.
Dodgers.
I'm going to go in the AL.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with my boy Vlad's, baby. I think Vlad should have won the MVP last year. Look at the Blue Jays lineup. That lineup is loaded with young talent. They could all run except him, but he doesn't need to because he hits fucking bombs. So I'm going to go with Vlad's. Like I said, I think last year he should have been the MVP, but if it wasn't for like this crazy season that we'll never see ever again out of Shohei, it was like a clear cut to me that Vlad's was the best hitter in the American League. Shohei, if it wasn't for him being like the 40th best pitcher and the 15th best
you
hitter,
hate Shohei Ohtani.
I don't hate Shohei Ohtani. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I just don't like picking him in fantasy baseball.
All right.
But yeah, Vlad's is the guy.
I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go very bold. Not too bold because he's a very, very, very talented baseball player, but he's super, super young. Give me Wander Franco to win MVP of the American League. I think this kid, he'll be officially, if he does it, he'll be the youngest to ever do it. And again, the AL is loaded with hitters and talented players, but give me Franco, man. Give me this kid. I truly believe in this kid. Unfortunately, he's not a Yankee, and I would love for him to be a Yankee, but this kid is the truth, and I think he gives everybody a run for their money, honestly.
I think if there's like a dark horse that I would have to go with, it would be Luis Robert. Everybody overlooking this guy in our fantasy draft. He went in the 7th round, but this guy, man, he might finish the best hitter in baseball when it's all said and done in fantasy circles. But he's like a plus 2,200 right now to win AL MVP. And it's clear-cut consensus across the baseball world that this guy has it. Whatever it is, he's got it. He had an injury situation last year, but he batted .338 through whatever games he played. The power is there. The speed's there. He got a good glove. So there's a chance at him. And another weird little dark horse that we'll talk about, if Byron Buxton can stay healthy, I think he's going to put up massive numbers as well.
Nice.
These are under the radar guys. I'm not saying that he's going to do it, but very good chance.
All right. Those are the MVP predictions. Now it's time to hit the nitty gritty here. It's like who's going to leave October, November, whenever the hell this thing gets over, with the World Series picks for this year. Now, look, we're both Yankee fans. That goes without saying. We all agree that we think the Yankees are okay. But as far as a World Series pick goes, I'll start just because I'm very, very convinced on the NL. While I think the Braves are going to make a nice little run, they replaced Freeman with a Matt Olson. They're still good, right? But that Dodgers team is just so primed and just got it's murderer's row. Their pitching staff is great. Between Freeman, Betts, Bellinger, they're stacked. They're absolutely stacked. I don't think it's close. I think they run away with it when the playoffs start. The Dodgers are the team to beat in the NL. And I think they're going to win the World Series, and they're going to beat the Toronto Blue Jays.
So I'll go through mine. I'll take a little bit longer to go through.
Okay, well, anyway, the Blue Jays, Vlad, Bo Bichette, Springer, that team, great. Pitching staff is good. 5 at this point. And unfortunately, just to go a little further, before you go further, I do want to say right now, I'm going to go on record to say that the Yankees and the Mets, identical records, 93 wins. Identical records. I'm talking mirrored seasons. And even more, they'll be the 6th seed, both of them. Yankees will be the second wild card, so will the Mets.
Okay.
There's my little bold
prediction. Are the Blue Jays playing in Toronto, or is it split again?
No, it's Toronto. So everybody that gets to go visit and not vaccinated can't play.
Can't play, right?
So they're just going to beat up on everybody. Wow. I don't know how the league is right now with vaccination status, but I do know that when the Yankees go there, we're going to find out. We're going to find out who's vaccinated or not.
It is what it is. It's a baseball game. We'll sort all that out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it. First, I'll go into the NL a little bit. NL East, I still think it's the Braves to take it. Phillies have a nice little young lineup, a couple guys that could potentially take over for some older guys, but it's still going to be about the pitching in Philly. They have some pitching, but Aaron Nola's up and down for the last 5 seasons. So you can get a really good stud pitcher in one start, and then the next start he gets shelled for 5. I guess that's baseball, but when you're looking at him as a staff ace, you need to do a little bit better than that. So it's the Braves. Even though they lost Freddie Freeman, they did a perfect job replacing him with Matt Olson. They have Acuna coming back at some point, Austin Riley coming into his own, and the Braves pitching, name me a time in my life where it's ever been bad. They're always good. So the Braves are going to have pitching. So I like the Braves coming out of the East, obviously. The Central, to me, is the most interesting division, as it always is, because you have teams like the Cubs. They have a healthy fan base that, for whatever reason, would rather their team lose than win, it seems to me.
What?
But it's just weird. I feel like they fell in love with the fact that they're the lovable losers. And they got their one, but they're not.
So they lose every game and they still party anyway.
I think they have an intriguing lineup, but there's a lot of turnover with the Cubs the last season and a half. I do like that. The Japanese outfielder that they got, his name is escaping me for whatever reason. I could never figure out why. I can't remember the Japanese guy.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I looked him up before. Yeah, no, it's not. That is
Nintendo.
Shit.
Oh, that's rough. So I'm going to go with the Brewers out of the Central because I think that the Brewers are the cream of the crop in that division. The Cardinals you always have to look out for, and the Reds, I think the Reds pitching is just not good enough. While
Sonny Gray still over there? No, he left.
Right? I'm not sure where Sonny Gray is. I think he's on the Reds. Yeah,
still there? Okay.
Don't quote me. But yeah,
these guys don't know what they're talking about. Doesn't it feel like last year all of a sudden?
The NL
technical
West,
difficulties, not knowing baseball.
The NL West,
Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. So
Sonny.
the Twins have the same deal as every year. They're going to hit the shit out of the ball, but they're not going to be able to fucking get guys out. So the Twins, they might threaten at a certain point that the Twins might make their run, but I just don't believe in their pitching staff for them to actually win enough games. Moving over to
the West.
So wait, the Twins are in the American League, by the way. Why'd you just say that?
Because Sonny Gray.
Oh, all right. I was talking about the Twins, I was looking.
No, he was updating where Sonny Gray is.
So the NL West, obviously the Dodgers. The Dodgers might win 120 games this year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I say that tongue in cheek to a degree, but really, they won 110 last year, and I feel like they're a little bit better than they were on paper. So if everybody stays healthy, they just have a plethora of talent at all positions. Like if a guy gets hurt, they could bring in like a top prospect right away. I'm not sure how they've done it. They've managed to do it. They got all the money in the world, and somehow they didn't deplete their farm system over the last 5 years with all these trades they made. So the Dodgers are there. Crazy. You always are going to have San Diego nipping at their heels. And obviously, I think the best team over the last 15 years in baseball is the Giants, most overlooked dynasty in history. And the Giants are there every year too. So they were a playoff team.
Shout out Anthony Bowens.
interesting to
Big
see if
Giants
the
fan.
Giants are able to put it all together again with the outmanned roster. On paper, the Giants don't match up with these other teams, but they win games. NL playoffs: Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, Padres, Cardinals, Mets. There you go, Mets fans. I'll give you a playoffs. And
Six spot.
And the Dodgers beat out the Brewers in the NLCS in Game 7 to go to the World Series. And
Give me baseball. Just hearing Game 7 World Series, I'm like, come on, let's
American
go.
League, I feel like the Yankees, it pains me to say this, starting with the AL East, the Yankees might finish 4th, dude. Like, I'm not going to sit here and predict the Red Sox to finish higher than the Yankees, so I'm not going to go ahead and
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, I don't buy them right now, but I haven't bought Tampa Bay preseason in 20 years, and for whatever reason, every year they're there at the end. So forget about Tampa Bay on paper. They got a bunch of guys that you've never heard of that are going to be good. Case in point, the new Lau. His first name is escaping me, but he won the AAA MVP last year, and they just made him the opening day roster as they trade Austin Meadows out to Chicago. So they do things a certain way, and for whatever reason, it always seems to work. So the Rays, you got to expect them to be in.
And there's Baltimore with their $25,000
Baltimore's not going to win a game all year. But Toronto, on the other
162,
hand,
by the way.
Toronto, on the other hand, they got a lot to be playing for right now. Their lineup, like I said, they could all run except Vlad's, and Vlad's hits bombs. They got deep pitching. I'm not sure they have like a legitimate bona fide staff ace, but they have about 5 guys that are
Toronto
just on the cusp.
They lost
Jose
Robbie
Berrios,
Ray and Steven Matz, but they did bring on
Berrios. They got Kevin Gausman. They got Manaoka or whatever.
Kikuchi.
The Blue Jays pitching staff is very deep.
Berrios, yeah, they just got the guy from the A's.
Yeah. So the AL Central. That one's the
Chicago.
Yeah, that's a toss-up to me, but the White Sox have the best team on paper.
But the big bet, according to Scoop and Toast and Kyle, they're all on Detroit.
Well, let me talk about Detroit too. So the White Sox, very similar situation to the Twins, or pretty much all teams in this division. I think that the biggest Achilles heel to all these teams is they're not going to be able to pitch. But they do have some young talent, and they did lose Rodon, so they're losing their ace. But the White Sox lineup, I think, is the best in that division by far. I'm not going to predict Detroit to do much other than cover every single fucking game because Detroit covers a lot.
Spreads, baby, all day.
You follow Casey Mize and just bet his starts because Casey Mize definitely has that stuff. AL West, this is an interesting division because you got teams like the Astros who had a lot of turnover. And then you got the Angels that Mike Trout has been overlooked for the first time in his career right now.
This is the year, I think.
Going like 3rd round in fantasy drafts. And I think their pitching is, again, their biggest Achilles heel with Shohei, I think.
I like to use the word bugaboo.
Their biggest Achilles
biggest
heel.
Bugaboo. I mean, you said Achilles heel a couple times. I figured change it up. Biggest bugaboo is
I don't think I'll ever use the word bugaboo in my entire life, so don't ever suggest that to me again. But AL West. Who did I have predicted in the AL West now that you fucked up my whole entire
that's a bugaboo.
Now I'm in a bugaboo. God damn it.
That's not the A's, right?
It's not the A's. It's the Rangers. The Rangers are going to win the AL West this year.
They're not going 500. All right. That's it. That was a very bold take. I mean, that's
Seattle.
Like shit. See, why don't you just
I feel like Scoop right now. I'm in a fucking bugaboo because I'm sitting here and you're like, you said I'm going to start doing that. I'd be like, Dave, you said this 3 times. Today,
you said right? With that being said,
in the middle of your
times.
point, I'm be like, Dave, real quick, bro. No more fucking
bugaboos.
No more bugaboos, bro. So, yeah, no, I do want to talk about Seattle, though, because Julio Rodriguez just made the opening day roster. He's 21 years old. Another one like
name drop.
Well, I have him on my team.
Oh, who would Scoop? Who would Toast name drop?
That was the
Lau, yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro. He's in my fucking
waiver
again, right
asshole.
now, and I got to move him up to my top priority because Dave has an open spot. Fuck you, Toast.
I actually just signed Johnny Cueto because that mother effer is getting right back. Speaking of minor league deals, welcome back, Greg Bird.
I will say that.
Why?
I will say that next time I will
right?
have notes. I did write notes. I left them in the other room when I walked out before. So that was all done off the top. All of my predictions, all of
one
my
of those brains, man.
But it's
elephant's brain.
It's a bugaboo because I couldn't fucking figure out what I was going to say.
Did Trevor Bauer play all? He didn't play all of last season. How many games did he play last season?
He did play two games.
He played.
Then the whole thing, they dropped the hammer on him, and he was
so
out.
Matt. So do you think he gets to play this year?
Well, I got a 14th round pick. Says he does.
No, he doesn't. He traded them to me.
He did
for
on
Chris
the show.
Sales. So everybody heard that on the show. So anyway, who do you got coming out of the AL?
The Red Sox, he said.
Oh yeah, the Red Sox are winning the World Series.
Thank you.
I
I'm
hate your
joking.
guts,
I would
bro.
never. Fuck, I can't believe I actually just said that.
Live.
I just got sick.
Edit, scratch, scrub. So I said that I wouldn't predict the Yankees to win anything. They're going to take fourth in their division, but they're also going to win the World Series. No.
The sixth wild
honestly,
card.
in the AL, it's so fucking hard for me right now because I don't think that there's a clear-cut team that jumps out at me. So I'm going to go with one of these weird teams, and I'll say the Devil Rays.
Devil Rays to play
Everybody
the
wants
Dodgers.
to pick Toronto, and I can't get behind the Toronto thing, even though I think they're clearly the best team in the AL right now. I just think they don't have the experience, and because they're the sexy pick, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, fine.
I have
So
no
be-
idea. In other words, I have no idea about the American League and who's going to do anything because I don't have
The
my
word of the
notes.
day, by the way, which is coming in the comments, Scoop, I see you there. Ken Paulman, Bugaboo is the word of the day. So anyway, it has been an interesting hour or so.
I will give Toast his props, though.
Oh, you're going to give it?
Yeah, I'm going to give out Toasty's props,
Oh,
bro.
okay, sorry.
So, look,
I was about to end the show, but anyway.
Toast-
look at all that
yeah.
money. Look at that.
Toast-
It's raining.
Toast came on the show last week, and we had a
There's your color,
shocker.
Pete.
We had a technical difficulty. No, Toast is out in Alaska, and his Wi-Fi crapped out on him. So he did give us a bunch of props that he wanted us to talk about last week, or he was going to give out, and it got cut off. So I'm going to give him out before the season starts.
Do it.
So real quick, these are some home run props, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you one split second to get a pen and paper and write all this shit down.
And go.
Ready, go. So Bobby Witt. Dave,
can also
I know you're a
pause the
Bobby
video.
Witt guy. I know you're a Bobby Witt guy.
My guy. Big guy.
Under 20 and a half home runs. I feel like this is a nice play because we haven't seen Bobby Witt in major leagues yet. He could crush this number, but he could also struggle a little bit in one
carry me to the
send down
promised
away, and this is a guarantee. I feel like just underlying theme, Toast likes to bet the unders on props. Because
On
that's
first
what I'm
halves,
seeing
too, apparently.
A lot of over here. As I say that, I get an over for Carlos Correa at 25 and a half home runs. I guess the Minnesota lineup is going to play well for him because that park, everyone hits bombs there. Carlos
Minnesota.
Correa going over there, probably fitting nicely into the third spot in the lineup.
You're going to
He's
opt
gonna
out
get good
after 1
pitches.
year and be a Yankee next year.
And
But
then my boy, Luis Robert, over 28 and a half home runs. So if this dude stays healthy enough to hit 30 home
over
runs this
28,
year,
so he's going to hit
if
30.
this dude stays healthy enough to hit 30 home runs this year, then there's a very, very strong chance that my whole MVP prediction comes through because he's got the average, he's got the speed. You couple 30 home runs with 30 stolen bases and a 300 average.
You think this guy's going to hit 320?
I mean,
It's a very rare thing nowadays. I don't know what it is.
Very, very good hitter, Dave.
I
Very
believe
good
it.
hitter.
Listen, I'm not.
So then another
denying
one
it.
that I'm not really in agreement with, but Toast is that guy. So you got to go with the Toasty on this one. Marcus Simeone under 32 and a half bombs. He did hit 45 last year. He was in a better lineup with Toronto, but now he's on my team, Texas, that I just predicted to win it all in the AL
Your
West,
team.
right?
The Gooch is Rangers over
So
here.
the Rangers, I think they're improved. I think they're one of those under the radar teams. They made a bunch of moves. They gave us Isaiah kind of Falefa. They ended up taking on some good talent in those trades as well. Marcus Simeone is that dude. So I'm not going to go under on Marcus Simeone, but yeah. All right. So we got Soto and Acuna in a little prop bet up against each other, which I'm not sure where the fuck's Toast is getting these bets because I didn't see it on any of my websites.
He's got a guy.
But you could go head up, and Juan Soto is going to hit more home runs than Acuna. I feel like that's almost guaranteed with the fact that Acuna is going to miss a month. All right, RBI props. Jared Walsh, under 104.5 RBI. Yes, I agree with that. Adam Duvall, under 110. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Eugenio Suarez, under 98.5 RBI. This dude batted like 210 last year, and he's on pace to bat 185 this year, and he hasn't even played yet. So, yeah, the trajectory for Eugenio Suarez has been falling off a cliff for 3 straight years, and unless he refines something, I just don't anticipate 100 ribby out of that guy. So, Juan Soto, coupled with the over home runs or over Acuna, he also doesn't think he's going to have many guys on base when he hits them because he's going under 118 RBI for the season. And also for all you Met fans out there that think Pete Alonso is actually good, he is pretty good, but he's not going to have 112 RBI. So slap the under on the RBI for Alonso. Hits. Kyle Tucker over 157. I like that bet a lot. I feel like Kyle Tucker is another dark horse for AL MVP. Ty France over 161.5. Here's a guy that nobody knew about because nobody watched baseball for 2 years. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about me. Ty France is now he's firmly entrenched as a solid hitter in the American League. 161 on the over. I like that a lot. And then our boy that I just talked about, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, for whatever reason, Vegas has given him a lot of love. Over under 167.5 hits. I feel like you have to take the under on that, and so does Toast, just because I'm looking at these other guys with the names, and they're way higher on the totals. Alex Manoah, over 10.5 wins, pitching at plus 100 money. We got Charlie Morton, under 12.5 wins, and Dylan Cease, over 11.5 wins. Side note, Dylan Cease will lead the AL in strikeouts. That's my prediction. And that's all we got. So that
saves Gallo. Thank God.
No, I mean, like, he's a pitcher.
Oh.
So he's going to strike out a lot of guys.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking of the wrong guy. Anyway, so that's our show today. It's been an interesting one, to say the least. But I do want to give a shout-out to Kyle Luigs, I want to say his name is. He is a pitcher for the Savannah Bananas. He'll be joining us this week. I'm going to talk to him right after this show. You got to learn about it. If you don't know anything about the Savannah Bananas, go check them out. They're one of the funniest. It's like a Globetrotters all of a sudden. You know, it's like a very cool modern day. Like
shower.
They're having, it's been a long day. They're having a good time over there in Georgia. So with that being said, first Sturch and Gooch and Rob for coming on in to fill in for Dina, who left here scared, panicked, and didn't know what was going on. It's been a show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow on a Wednesday. We got so much more to talk about. And tomorrow there will be no technical difficulties. Saying it right now. Done and done. See you guys later.